Hello, Inferno God here. I'm gonna be reading this story. Well, there's two stories in it. This is Act 1 and 2. And this story is called The Flirting Game. It's not easy being this charming and beautiful. So, if you guys are gonna be bored of hearing me reading about this, so here goes nothing. I'm doing this for you, Swaggertron OP. It was only about 2 p.m. in the underground. I've already had a busy day, making snow cyctures, I can't say that word. Wishing in the wishing in the okay, I'm having problems seeing it. I need to try to wishing room and glaring at Nick. I never knew that acting so playful and cherry could eat up so much of my time. Anyhow, here I was entering Snowden, the coldest place in the world, in the whole underground, to say. Walking with my buddy, Sans, and he and his brother Myers own the house, but they're usually off elsewhere, doing crazy, wacky adventures in other universes, so we just end up using it as a place to get ourselves more. We notice that the TV is already on, featuring a rerun of Metatron's super stylish live-action movie. I can't remember the name of it. All of Metatron's programs have such complex names. I never seem to be able to pronounce them. If only I sit down onto the couch, quickly moving so that I can lay on into it. Yeah, it was a bit weird, but I don't know what that means. But anyway, the couch is super comfy to sit on. It's almost as comfy as Sans old mattress. My eyes are easying. I can't see that. Staring at the action going on the TV, and my ears are casually listening to the noise that are being made into the kitchen. I only just now heard it. Who's cooking in the kitchen? I politely ask, "It's just me." I could tell from his stale voice that it was a AI. What does that say? Is that 3 A's or something? I should have guessed that human's battery was making some food. He's the only person I know that actually cooks food besides Papyrus. I love both of their food. It is so yummy. What are you making? I asked curiously. Just some eggs, bacon, and hash browns. My favorite food. Cool. Oh, it meant to say my favorite. I get really excited. I rolled around waiting for him to finish cooking so I can have most of the cook. just just a minute later, he finished walking out into the living room, carrying the food on the bag tray, on a big tray. No, that was a mistake. I'm kind of reading it wrong. A big tray sitting down on the table. I begin to sit up and give him a gentle smile. Can I have some? That's fine, he tells me. My smile turns into a grin, and as he gives me a fork and a knife, I immediately set the knife down onto the side and dig into the hash browns immediately. I don't need some silly knife to enjoy my food. I don't really need a fork either, but I already got into trouble with Sans for greasing up part of his house from the last time I our food with only my hands run killer wait fun killer. Ugh. I don't know what that says, but it's kind of hard to say. I get through the hash browns pretty quickly and stop there. I look over at and watch as he still is eating the ham slowly and carefully. He always liked to take his time with his food. He also grabs the TV remote and changes the channel to something else. It has something about technology stuff. And I don't wait, technology and stuff. I don't know what it's called. I didn't care too much. All I care about was rolling off the couch and towards the TV. Well, that's what I did next anyway. Wait, never mind. The front door opened just when I stopped. I looked up and saw some of the dudes walked on the side. Shard was the first one and the coolest looking. He was a robot guy that has a cannon for an arm, along with a lot of other cool things. Proxy came in a second. He is a cute little furry boy. And a dream when it came to style. He was always talked a bit funny, but I don't care about that. Ken was the last one to come inside. He is a human boy that really likes me. He's a bit all over the place. Eventually they all got inside. The faces they made when they saw me on the ground looking at them from below was hilarious. They all said hi to both. Oh man, this story is like pretty long. Oh wait. Says say hi both to and me, and I could hear Ken whispering a compliment towards me. I told you. I immediately stood up, dusting off the dust that got into my sweater. They all went and hung around near the couch, doing their own little special thing. I decided to head over the stairs, sitting down at the second step so I could look at the guys from a different angle. A man I could watch those. Wait, a man I could watch those guys for hours. I talked to them about how things were going, and we began a small little conversation. We exchanged few flirts here and here, and overall it was a normal little talk. As always, such a shame that my rival had to come out and ruin it all. They go by a lot of names over time, and it gets confusing. I refer to them as Nick to keep it simple. Nick, keep it simple. Nick came out of one of the rooms upstairs, speed walking downstairs. Get out of my way! I hear him say, even though I have already moved out of the way for him. He walks over to Proxy and whispers some things into his ear, and they both head off outside. Great. Let me take the time to explain something, Nick and I have a long story together. We used to be together as a couple. It got to the point where we both got married. I really did love him. He was so relatable and generous. He had he had a bit of an anger problem, but I was able to reach his soft spot easily. I felt so happy meeting someone like him uh, that a few timelines ago, however, he has changed since then, which ended up coasting our relationship. Now it's got to the point where he only talks to me so that he can let out of his rudeness to someone. Otherwise, he has completely lost any sense to take care about me. To care about me. Okay. I'm still a bit heartbroken from that. Makes me wish I could go back so I could be with him once again. If only I stood up and walked behind the two guys, putting my hands on each of their shoulders. I looked at them both, focusing on every little detail about them. I earned myself over the couch, landing on the middle of the couch, in between the two guys. Something about that moment made me feel special. I sunk into the cushion mindlessly, hearing the two talk about the day my eyes slowly became closed and my arms began to move by themselves. My fingers crawled across their backs and eventually wrapped around their waist. I could hear one of them giggle while I was doing it. Ken asked me what I was going to do after this. I told him that I was going to head out to the surface and watch the people down below. I wasn't really planning on doing that originally, but I knew that Ken would ask to join me, and it would turn into a little date. He indeed asked if I could join, of which I replied with agreed nod. Well, get my spots comfy while you wait for me. Okay, sweetie? I hear him add, I like it when he calls me sweetie. It was it was time that I opened my eyes and start preparing for the little date. I just made myself. I just made myself. Stood up, said my goodbyes, head outside, and made my way to the ruins.